All right, everybody, it is America Floats here. I am zipping around the Lansing capital area. I need to let you know what's going on here. There is a protest. There's a Freedom Friday protest here at the Capitol in Lansing. The state police are out on bikes. There's like 7 or 8 of them, essentially harassing the people that are out on the Capitol. You have some undercover and unmarked cars going around. You just saw one of them go by me. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you. Well, here, I'll show you. They're going around and removing every single sign that I posted saying that it is illegal to have signs posted on the Capitol property, on Capitol premises. They have their own signs all over telling us where the rights end and where their authority begins. They're going around tearing down signs like these. All of the different QAnon signs that I made, the hashtag dark to light signs, everything. The websites that I've posted all around town, and the cops first said you're not allowed to post them on the building itself because the adhesive tape may destroy the rock, the stone of the actual building. So I said, okay, so they're not allowed to post any posters and hang them and leave them. We're supposed to only be carrying them around. You can only hold the posters that you want to post. You can't actually hang them. You have to hold them and walk them around. So I said, okay, what about any of these posts, the poles, the light poles that are all around town? They're not on Capitol property. They're on their public property. It's a sidewalk. And they said you cannot be on the property. So they were very clear not to differentiate. They were very careful not to be too detailed in saying, yes, technically you're right, you can post them on those posts. So I did. I rode all around the Capitol building and I put them on the posts. Here are the cops destroying signs, yellow in hand. Another one he just destroyed. They're taking down signs I just posted around the Capitol building. Signs with all of the QAnon hashtags, the website information, and they removed every single one. These posts, oh, there's still one. There's one left. Look at that. There they are, a couple of them. No bikes for those guys. Oh, look at, they're all hiding behind that sign. They just destroyed like 30 signs I made. And there they are, just hanging out. All right, folks, you see that yellow one there? There's a yellow one there. Wait for this car to go by. Hurry up. Let's go. Keep it up. You see there's one there. I put them all up this morning. I put like 40 up. I got more. But the problem is, state troopers are taking them all down on bikes. I had one on every post. Every single one of these street posts. I had a sign, and they took them all down. Every single one. Right there. So, not super exciting as far as a protest goes. You could have had more people. But I just thought it was interesting that putting signs up on public property, where I'm supposed to be legally allowed to do, just like if you lost your dog or your cat, if you were looking for a roommate, any of those things, you can post a sign anywhere in public. Can't do that here. Can't put any signs on any of the lampposts or street signs anywhere in town. But I had a good laugh with some yard signs. If you can look, I put a couple different for sale signs around the Capitol because clearly we're being sold out. And if we're not allowed to go to work, And we're just supposed to stay home, continue to pay taxes, pay your bills. You may continue to earn as much as $1,200 a month in stimulus. I mean, that's what they were telling you 6 months ago with a UBI. They've been trying to get us, and they've been preempting us to think, hey, we're going to take on a $1,200 check every month. Anyway, I think I got something to say here. So the emergency just went out. The emergency broadcast system just alerted us all that Governor Whitmer has given the executive order we must be wearing homemade masks if we're going to be out in public. She's a joke. She's a joke. I want to know when her mask is going to come off. I'm not wrong, am I? I mean, tell me. And look, she's asking us to wear non-medical homemade masks. So not only are they not going to stop us from getting sick, the masks are just a waste of time. It's another mental game. It's a fear-mongering tactic of you got to stay home because it's spreading, but you wear a homemade mask. Now, here's something that really doesn't make sense. Do you guys remember when Whitmer initially told us all, and the whole rest of the country, told us that we had to flatten the curve? We were going to stay home because we were going to flatten the curve. Too many people would get sick if we were all still living normal lives, so we all had to change our normal lives and flatten the curve. But we've done that. We've done more than that. In fact, we don't have we have a tenth of the people at the low end that they thought we might have seriously seeking medical treatment because of the COVID. On the other hand, you have a lot of data now, multiple studies out of California that'll show you, and now in New York, that show you that maybe 12, as many as 25, maybe 50% of the population already had this. You remember when everyone got sick in January? This isn't the first wave. This is like the second or third wave. And they're lying to you to keep you at home. So look, Whitmer says, and everyone else says, we're going to flatten the curve. We did. But this press conference, or this press brief that came out this morning, clearly the story is now changing, and they're retroactively changing why we were staying home. Now it was never really to flatten the curve. It's to combat the spread. We don't want it to spread any further, so no one else can get sick. No one else is allowed to get sick. Forget the fact that 50 million people die per month globally. 1.3 million people on average die daily. We just had inflated numbers for people with flu and pneumonia, 3,000 added to the death toll yesterday for corona. Did any of them test positive for corona? Are we testing them? Who knows? We're not asking those questions. We're being told, stay home, combat the spread. No longer are we just worried about the emergency hospitals being overwhelmed, the curve needing to be flattened. No. Now it's just no one else can get it. If anyone else gets it, it's a tragedy. If tomorrow someone has coronavirus and they go in and test positive, it was a tragedy. That's what they're telling you. Never mind the tens of thousands, the millions of people who are out of a job, tens of thousands that will lose their homes, divorces that will happen because of this, suicides that will happen because of this. Whitmer doesn't care. She's extended the date to the 15th in Michigan with a mortality rate of 0.001. That's 0.1%. And if Gretchen doesn't understand math, hire someone to explain it to her, because no one else can. Now, here's the other thing. She had said you cannot go get gas. That was the whole point. You got to stay home. No one's allowed to go to any stores because you have to use gas to go anywhere. So anyone going anywhere is going to use gasoline. If you got to use gas, that means you got to go to the tank, and it means you have to touch the handle, which means you're going to spread coronavirus. That was the whole reason we had to stay home in Michigan. That was her entire rationale. Today, no. You can go fill your car with gas. The number one thing that was going to spread coronavirus, according to her, 3 weeks ago, getting gas. Now, no. Go get gas. Go get gas. That's fine. But you're not allowed. See the bottom there? I outlined it in red. You're not allowed to gather anymore in public. So anyways, I don't know who died and made I don't know who died and made Whitmer the new Hitler. She thinks that the world is hers to dictate. She's not a dictator. None of this is legal. You can't just bar public groups. You can't bar public gatherings. None of that is legal. Now, I tried to post posters, just hashtags for people to say, oh, what is that? And find it themselves. I posted the yard signs because we're clearly being sold out. And I was told, oh, you can't stab those into the ground. You can't pierce the lawn of the Capitol. So I bent and reestablished. I bent and put back up. Okay? That's super simple. The cops aren't explaining a way for you to peacefully protest. They're doing everything they can to harass and stop you from doing it. So they show up on the steps right in front of hey, what does that sign say? Explain it to me. What does that mean? Explain this to me. I just told them to go Google it. So Google's your friend. You got a phone? You got a bathroom break? Go kill 15 minutes, Google it. It was the where we go one, we go all. And he says, what does that mean? I first explained it. I said, where we go one, we go all. What does that mean? Google it. They're coming up to this gentleman, Joe, saying, asking about his weapon, making sure. I get that you want to ask, but at this point, when you've seen these people week after week at the Capitol protesting, are you going to continue to harass them like you don't know them? Are you going to continue to ask us why we're there and what we really stand for? All these things just to make us feel uncomfortable that we're being questioned by state troopers on the Capitol lawn. People know that is not necessarily harassment, but it's certainly intimidation. I mean, when they're saying, why are you here? You can't post that. And I ask, what is the statute that I'm breaking? Oh, it's not, well, it's a policy. We can get a copy of it. It's a policy. You're not allowed to post that there. What policy? Show me. Well, we'll get a copy of it. Okay, am I free to go? Yeah, you're free to go. Okay, well, I'm free to stay too. And people don't realize that. So you can go put posters up. You can go and hang a sign. Go and tell everyone to go and look at the QAnon hashtags. Go and look at the Q posts. You can see I went and put them up all over town. I said, the Capitol, I'm just going to go and put any of these up in any big storefronts and windows that I can. They're harmless. They're giant sticky notes. And then the cops were upset that I was putting them on public property because the governor said we're not allowed to legally, publicly gather anymore. That's a disgrace. Somebody ought to do something as far as doing more in the media to show what we are standing for, what we are doing. So you can see there are a lot of people here that are having a great time with this. We're making lemonade, but this is time. It's time, and people know we need to get back to work. Not because we're selfish and we want to go and earn money. I have a job. I took off today again because it's not fair to look at all of the neighbors, all of the friends and family that are suffering because of this, whose lives will never be the same again. And on top of that, the insult of having to stay home is having an authoritarian governor. End it. Recall her.